I got to tell you, this is cascading and turning into a whole thing. Uh, Today, we talked about demonic toys. We talked about this. It bled into there was a crossover with Dollman versus the demonic toys. Demonic toys is still an ongoing franchise to this day. So Full Moon Productions had some movies, and then Tubi was like, "Hey, you're watching these, so just so you know, here's some movies from the 2020s that pick up with these characters." So somebody's got the licensing for it. Baby Oopsie Daisy has some movies. I can't remember the Jack in the Box monster. He's got a movie. And these are more modern flicks. So I think I'm just going to keep following this rabbit hole if everybody will indulge me, because I'm really interested to see what is going on. So
I didn't realize this, but when you started this journey, in my mind, Doll Man was kind of the center of this cinematic universe, but it is Demonic Toys.
yeah,
Everything else is a franchise that ties into Demonic Toys, including Puppet Master, which there was Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys in 2004.
right.
I went back and looked. I was going to see how many Puppet Master movies are there. There's like 20
So
Puppet
many.
Masters. It's ridiculous. Like there are so many. I could not believe it. It's nuts. This cinematic universe is probably going to rival the Marvel Cinematic Universe before long. Like it's going to have nearly as many movies.
And sheer number and quality. I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So
Yeah,
well,
I'm really interested in it.
I'm excited. You said you're probably not going to watch all the Puppet Masters, but I'm excited to learn more about
I've
the future
seen
ones.
Yeah, I've seen all the Puppet Master movies multiple times. I don't need to go back and see them again. They're really good. Watch them. If you're looking for something fun, 90s style horror, go watch them. They're really good. They're better than Demonic Toys. I can definitely see the crossover, but
Wow. Okay.
they're definitely better than Demonic Toys.
Cool.
So bigger cast too. I think Courtney Cox was in the first movie.
Really?
Yeah, I think there were some stars in some of these
Wow.
Puppet Master movies. So
Okay. Cool.
yeah, they just have a little more budget. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you want me to do movie in a minute for Demonic Toys?
I really do want you to do one. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
want me
there's
to-
not much to this one.
Okay. I got my clock and I'm going to count you down. All right. We're going to do
All right.
a movie in a minute here on Demonic Toys in 3, 2, 1, and go.
All right. So a cop, detective lady, played by Tracy Coggins, who was Cat Grant in Lois and Clark's Adventures of Superman. She is pregnant. Her partner dies at the very beginning of the movie. No big deal. He kind of haunts her through the rest of the show, but whatever. Not a main character there. There is a demon who's trying to be born again. This failed once, and I'm assuming the 40s. The couple that was trying to bring the demon back gave the demon dead baby to some kids for trick-or-treating, and they threw him in the ground, where he eventually got buried. And then they built a toy warehouse over him. He comes back. He possesses some toys. And all of these people show up by happenstance at this warehouse, and the pregnant lady, which is who the demon's after. He wants to make another baby so he can share her womb and be born again. It doesn't work for him. The detective lady's unborn son saves him in the form of a toy soldier.
Nice.
Yeah. I was trying to add some of the detail in that one.
Yeah, I like it. You took about 15 seconds telling us about Lois and Clark. And
I know I had trouble getting started. In my head, that happened a lot faster. But so I couldn't remember her name.
I watched this movie as well yesterday because I knew you were going to watch it. You know, when we talked about Trancers, just to do a little comparison here.
Yeah.
We talked about Trancers and we said, this looks really good for like a mid-1980s movie. Like they did a really nice job. It's complete garbage compared to a movie like Demonic Toys. Like they did a great job on Demonic Toys. It looks like a real movie. Whereas honestly, parts of Trancers, it looks like you're watching a home movie.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's like not in the grand scheme of things, it is not very high quality. Whereas Demonic Toys actually looks like a real movie.
Yeah, they did a really good job. And
some of the toy motions are a little animatronic or stop motion photography. Like you can tell that it's not real. But come on, it was 1992-ish, I think, for this movie.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, you know, they did a really, really good job, honestly.
Yeah, they did some really good things with some of the toys. Baby Oopsie Daisy really impressed me just because of the amount of facial features they got into that doll. Furrowed brow, and I don't mean just like a little bit. I mean full center of the brow coming down when it was confused.
Yeah,
and some of the facial expressions, the mouth movements. They did a really good job. That's where their money went for the toys. But Oopsie Daisy was the leader of the rest of the toys. So it makes sense they would put some money into that one.
Yeah.
But the movie did have a lot of issues though, man. I mean,
Oh man.
so many like this. So long story short, the cop and her partner are doing like a weapons deal with some gangsters. Doesn't go well, so they end up locked in this room with one of the gangsters. Then this dude who delivers food shows up, and he becomes like a star because he just happened to be delivering, dinner to the security guard.
Yeah.
And then out of absolutely nowhere, this random girl shows up out of the air duct in the room they're in. And it's like, okay, I don't understand this at all and why she's there. So, I mean, the story was loose and all over the place, but man, it was really entertaining. I had a lot of fun watching it. Yeah.
I was a little confused by the teddy bear, who was teddy bear sized at the beginning and by the end was the size of a full grown man, because I'm assuming it was a man in a costume. I was a little confused why he was growing like that.
I thought that was a real, like,
it could have been
teddy
a real
bear.
teddy bear. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so things like that confused me. The criminal that she was locked up in the room with was completely insane. People like that, like he was,
for sure,
before he got there, like he was nuts. He went completely insane. People like that typically are not like gun runners. You got to have some smarts to be some level of criminal. Again, most criminals get caught because they're stupid, but to be able to manage getting shipments of guns, which I think the guns they were selling were pretty basic shotguns. Like what he described, I was just
they touted him as like super good forfeit type guns from like some other country. I don't know. It was ridiculous. Like none of it made sense.
Right. But the way his description, I was like, yeah, that's a rifle, like a normal single shot rifle,
like a double barreled shotgun and stuff. Like it was nothing really that impressive.
No, it was funny, but he was completely off his rocker, and it's kind of weird. Like, but I get it. They were just trying to ratchet up the stakes and all that. She's locked in a room with the crazy person.
Yeah.
It was odd.
That's good.
That's for sure. The decision of the two people in the 40s to hand the dead demon baby to some random trick-or-treaters and trust them to do the right thing with it.
They had this big weird narrated scene where they were like, well, what do we do with this dead demon baby now? And they're like, well, we're going to give it to these people who will help us, and they'll bury the seed so that one day it can try again. And they were just like, oh, look, some trick-or-treaters. Trick or treat, here's a dead demon baby. And they just gave it to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, you had this whole plan about finding people that were going to usher in the new beginning of the demon in a few years. And these kids get there and they're like, oh, let's see what this treat is. And they're like, oh, gross. And they just toss it behind him.
Yep.
Like, okay, that was your plan. So the script was
weird choice.
Super light.
Yeah.
Super light.
Yeah. But it was fun and it looked good.
Yeah. It did.
It's crazy.